Swivl Sessions, interviews with field service entrepreneurs. Get insights and strategies from those who took the leap and risked it all to start their own home service companies. I can't say enough about this last podcast. I mean, this guy was just incredible. Ray Wells with Man Ant Services. Jeremy, what do you got?
Yeah, I love that he's always trying to improve himself and in turn improving Man Ant Services. Speaks volumes about this guy. And I love his quote, if I'm doing something, I got to be learning. And I just love hearing that.
Different levels of life, and we all deal with that. And listening to him talk about the family versus the business and where your priorities are. There are times that things aren't going to work out, but it's never a loss. It's always a lesson. And put yourself with winners is what he said, and he's a winner. Ray Wells with Man Ant Services. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Swivl Sessions, where we dive into the world of field service entrepreneurship. Now, before we get to this next interview, and we're all looking forward to it, I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Jeremy. Rumor has it he has been fasting for the last 4 or 5 days to get ready for Thanksgiving. Better half is cooking 16 or 17 incredible dishes, and she's an amazing cook, and Jeremy is a good guy and a great friend, but if I don't get any leftovers, he might unfortunately have a flat tire or two on Monday. So, everybody, welcome Jeremy.
Hey, thanks,
Jeremy.
Tyson. Hey, what's up, Ray? So, Ray, I'd like to reintroduce you to Tyson. I know you guys have communicated a little bit. Tyson's our expert at handling customer challenges and keeping everything on track. If you're ever hungry, he's always stocked up on sesame sticks and chocolate-covered pretzels. It's like he's prepping for a snack apocalypse. Don't ask where he hides them, though. It's a well-guarded secret. Back to you, Tyson.
Listen, you haven't lived until you've had chocolate-covered pretzels, okay?
Delicious.
All right, we're excited about this podcast. We've been talking about it for the last few days. I want to introduce Ray Wells. He's the founder and owner of Man Ant Services, a highly regarded construction services company. They're based in Powder Springs. Ray and his team offer a wide range of services, and when I say wide range, I want you to circle and underline it twice, because that is exactly what they do. They can tackle just about any project you've got. They can do it all. And you know what? They can do it all well. And they're really big on their customer relationships. I think that's the thing they do best. So, Ray, welcome to Swivl Sessions. It's great to have you here. How are things going over there in Powder Springs?
Things are going awesome, Tyson. I appreciate you having me here. Jeremy, thank you guys for welcoming me on your podcast. I appreciate the opportunity.
Nice.
Awesome, man. Hey, Ray, so before you got involved in this industry, what were you doing? What's your background? What were you, take us as far back as you want to go as far as your work goes and that sort of thing.
I've been in Georgia about 14 years. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. So I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, learned construction from my father-in-law. My dad owned a meatpacking plant. So that's where, I guess, the business side, my mom owned the daycare. They still run this to this day. Jackson's Complete Concrete in Omaha, Nebraska. Pretty big concrete company in Nebraska. Heavy equipment operator. So I went to school at Georgia College of Construction. They have levels, if you know anything about heavy equipment. Yeah. Level 1, level 2, then your crane license. So I paid for level 1, did so good that the school paid me for level 2 and to get my crane license.
Nice.
So not too shabby at all. So $32,000 worth of crane license they gave me, I sent him to get for free. So I got my crane license. I can operate everything on land but a plane, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, technically, as soon as it gets off. So I'm pretty good with heavy equipment or anything.
Keep the wheels on the ground and you're covered, right?
Exactly. I'm not big on heights anyways. So yeah, moved down here, went to heavy equipment school in Conyers. Got out, started working for the Wrecking Crew, which was a brand new demolition company out of Alpharetta. In the first year, I dropped over 24 structures, from everything from houses to car dealerships to apartment buildings, Buckhead, historic homes, to where I'm on the news knocking down the house.
Oh, no.
Well, it was burnt up, so it was all, all situational.
Now, when you say knock it down, not to cut you off, Ray, when you say knocking down, are you doing like the explosive work, or is it mostly just getting in and getting using stuff to kind of like bring it down?
Correct. Yep. All heavy equipment. So we had a what was it, a 40-ton excavator, extended reach, reach about 40
nice.
feet high. We'll break it down. I'll sit on top of the pile, and then I'll use my Bobcat once I can't pick it up anymore with my excavator to get it cleaned up, graded, and usually within 2-3 days we could drop a house and get it back to dirt. So
Wow. Have you ever used a wrecking ball?
so in school, so they're actually outlawed now, but in school, yep, when I was on learning how to operate a crane, we had something similar to a wrecking ball. I actually shut the school down for a whole day. I boomed it up, and it hit the cab like right here, almost killed me.
Why are they outlawed? Outlawed though.
Dangerous. You know,
Really?
you got to get the swing right. So much better ways to demolish something nowadays. Interior explosives, usually the way to go. Organize, boom.
That has to be a satisfying thing, especially with the little kid and you, of just destroying stuff. I mean, that has to be great. There you go.
It's definitely a highlight. It's fun, satisfying. So after about a year, I'm sitting back and I made okay money. But you always make okay money working for somebody. Like a job can never pay you your value. You know what I mean? A job, I don't care who it is. Even if somebody works for me, I can only give them so much because it's my business. So I didn't have the value. I realized that I dropped down a structure. It was about $24,000 bid. Probably made like $600 that week, and I did the whole job. And I'm like, wow, something's not right. Yeah. Within 60 days, that business was closed down. The lady who was investing in the business spoke a lot of good words into me and gave me an opportunity to do interior demo for her. And let me see. Then I started working for a utility locating company. We started locating Greystone Power, underground utilities, gas, things like that. I was there for maybe 4 or 5 years. Learned a lot about the city. So,
Ray, I love hearing you when you say you spent time at a job for 3 or 4 years, and the first thing you say after that is you learned a lot. And
yes, I did.
That's the pivotal thing with anything, any move is getting that in.
Yeah, I agree, Tyson. Every job I've ever tried to hold, I would only hold it for a duration if it was teaching me something.
Yeah.
You know, customer service, demographic, whatever. You know, hands-on, concrete.
You're growing.
Finishing. I have to be learning something from my job.
Technical skills. Yep.
Exactly. You know, so I always looked at jobs like I'm getting paid to learn. You know,
nice. Right way to do it.
So what happened? Where was the moment when you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my own business. How did that work out?
So it was a couple things. My dad, he had a stroke. I thought I had a little savings, saved up some money, bought a ticket to Nebraska, and everything was just so combobulated at the time. I bought it for like 12 days in advance. I bought it for like the 22nd, should have been the 12th. Reached out to another family member of mine that I don't talk too much, but I'm kind of in desperate times. She was like, "Oh yeah, not a problem, honey. One way trip there." She told me give her a call when I was ready to come back. She didn't want to give me a ticket coming back. You know, I'm like, "Why you don't want to give me a ticket coming back?" She's like, "'Cause I don't know how long you need to be up there to get your mental right with your dad." You know, definitely appreciated that moment. First class.
Yeah. Wow.
First time in my life flying first class from Atlanta to Omaha.
Congratulations.
That's a good family member right there.
Yes, it is. And that's my Aunt Teresa. I appreciate you, Auntie, if you see this podcast. Thank you so much.
She'll see it.
It put me in a mental to where I said it's more out here in life. It's definitely different levels of life. And so that motivated me. I've always had man-ass services. So I bought the logo in December 2015.
We love the logo.
Thank you.
And the name.
We've all talked about that for the last 3-4 days.
And so many years ago, believe it or not, you had to pay for the colors and stuff. So this was about a $500 logo years ago. You know what I mean? Like
now they're free.
Yeah, exactly. Now you get a good logo for $20 for free. But so yeah, that was the growth with that. So that was November, December. You know, May 6th, 2010 is when I actually took the leap of faith. I literally jumped. I was going through it with my job at one point, and I literally just like, I can't really explain how I felt that day because I don't know what made me feel that way. But I literally was just like, I can't get back in this truck right now. I called my wife. I'm on the phone with my wife probably about 30 minutes to an hour. Not in the best mental, shape, because I'm like, this job ain't working. I'm confident. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I know this ain't
when
working.
you know
When you know, you know. And so I had the logo in December. I had a truck. I bought a truck, and I had like a trailer that I found on Craigslist for $400 trailer, like a 5x8. And I probably had $18 one day. So I had a budget daily to go out. So I would go out daily and literally door knock. Literally door knock. Literally door knock. So I will only have
I love it though.
$18. I will go to this subdivision, and now mind you, I'm in a truck. I got a trailer. I put my lawnmower on there. I had a push lawnmower, a blower, because I knew if I cut grass, then I know I could probably make $20 back. So I was never like trying to open a lawn service company.
Right.
I wanted to give my expertise to people, because I realized coming from Nebraska, a lot of people in this bigger city do not have time to do the things that's hands-on. It's not like it's a lot of talent, in my opinion. I guess maybe because I'm from Nebraska, but pulling a fence, we've been doing stuff like this our whole life. Dealing with concrete would probably be the only skill I had at the time, I'm biracial. My white side of my family, to be transparent with you, all teachers. So she's a dean of, she was a dean of Drake State University in Iowa. She's retired now.
Wow.
My granddad, he's 93, still kicking. His birthday was
Wow.
last month, the 23rd. He was a
Happy
superintendent
birthday.
of Lincoln High Schools in Omaha, Nebraska. In Nebraska. So you probably heard of Lincoln, Nebraska. So he was a superintendent of public schools there. Just teaching, just very, we love teaching. I'll get into that further on with my explanation with the Man Academy. Yeah, I love teaching. So she was a dean, didn't make a whole lot of money, just knew how to manage money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Married to a, if I'm not mistaken, a dairy/cow farmer. He's some type of farmer. He'll probably be right now, but yeah, as a farmer. So I can't say that they were quote unquote rich, but they know how to manage money. And that's
That
all
goes
we
a
need to
long
know
way. That really
goes a
does.
long way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you make, what you do with what you make.
You could
you
manage
go.
a little bit or a lot, and you could really mess it up on either side.
Yeah, on either side. Yes, sir, Jeremy. So, yep, that was her situation. Let me see. Started the business door to door, literally. And I worked up to about 12 to 14 steady lawn service customers. So I would only cut grass Friday, but that was my check from my normal job. So literally $750, $800 every Friday just cutting grass. Clearly, I didn't ever need the unemployment, but it was an assurance that I feel like I had, during this transition that I'm trying to get things off the ground. So, as soon as I started the workers' comp, the unemployment office said, you don't qualify for unemployment. Adios.
Yes.
I didn't know that. And in my community, believe me, I done educated plenty of people with that.
There's lots of people don't know, Ray.
A lot of people don't know that. So I'm about 14,000 in unemployment that just went away immediately because I opened an LLC. So at that point, I knew that I had at least a $14,000 commitment to make this job work, or I'm gonna be back to 9 to 5. And I've been working since I was 14. I had my son when I was 17. I got my GED, associate's degree from Drake State University, heavy equipment certified, crane certification certified, inspections, and commercial real estate license as of 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I pursue education about every 2 years. If I'm doing something, I got to be learning something.
You got to scratch that. You got to scratch that itch.
Yeah.
The next question was, your motivation inspires me, believe it or not. It's good that you're not afraid to try anything. And I was wondering, getting into this, were there any hurdles other than the ones you just mentioned, or were those expectations met when you
To put it simple, I never knew or know that I'm successful. I've probably failed as many times as anybody's never started. And I guaranteed I failed 30 times more than that. I think it was my big motivation is just kind of where I come from. Come from a single parent household. I was in a foster home. I was in juvie. I was on house arrest for 24 months at one point. So I made my life rough. and then I also had it rough. And then I put myself around winners. One of my biggest sayings now is, if you hang with winners, you get what winners got.
Awesome.
You know? So if I'm bumping elbows with, at one point it was just money, millionaires and 100,000-aires and business owners, then I'll get what they got. And recently, just real recently, Jeremy and Tyson, I had to refigure even that, because I've been to in my opinion, the pinnacle, but without the correct way to be there. And so I had to find my faith again. You know what I mean? I had to find Jesus Christ again. And now I'm looking forward to every blessing that's coming my way. And I just went through a lot personally, so again, so this was different for me. I'm like, hey, finally. Yeah, so my dad was my biggest motivation. He passed 3 years ago now. He was 72. He ended up living with me the last 2 years of his life. 3 years he's been gone. He lived with me 2 years. He had a stroke the year I started business. So I needed a way to make sure I could see my dad. At the end of the day, my motivation was, of course, to take care of my family, but
the
eternal motivation was, I need to get to Nebraska at any moment, at any time, and I need to make sure my family down here is okay. So it was just always a motivation to have a savings to where if I needed to do something again, I would have it.
When you talk about expectations, there are those people out there that they say, I wanted to start my own business so I could take Fridays off and go play golf, or take the money. Yeah, exactly. And what's been crazy when we ask that question, and that's why we like to ask it, Ray, is it's all the ones like you that have that motivation. They're working doubly hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than the exact same thing you said, where there was a moment where they were like, I'm done. I can't do this for anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're in a rare air, the air is a little different up here, but it's beautiful. It's clear. My mentor one time told me that you'll work twice as hard for yourself than you'll ever work for yourself. One of my many mentors, and I took that because I'm like, I just made in 2 days what I made in 2 weeks, so I don't see that having to be the case. No, listen, I haven't now we schedule time off. See. Entrepreneurs, we schedule time off. But if I don't schedule time off,
well said.
I literally work every Saturday. Like, Saturdays are my estimates. I got a 70% close rate. So if I give you an estimate, Jeremy, I give you an estimate, Tyson, 70% of the time I'm gonna close that job.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
that's really good.
So thank you. So it's a personal thing with me to make sure I'm out there to do that, because that's what makes that's one of my biggest differences, what makes my business, my customer service. I'm going to answer the phone. I'm in construction. In any business, you can't make anybody happy all the time. And then you throw construction in there. But I think with a good positive attitude that you can't go wrong. Being 9 years in business, it's been times where I was taking care of my dad, and owning your own business, you don't have time off like that. Yeah. My dad had dementia. He had broke his hip. And he needed a band, and he had kidney failure, so he was on dialysis. All of our bedrooms upstairs. So at about the first 3 weeks, me and my son lifting him up the stairs. I'm like, no, this ain't working. So I ended up putting a bed in the living room, and I started looking for a house. About 60 days after that, he but everything happens for a reason.
Ray, you doing that is I love to hear, because you would beat yourself up and kill yourself if you didn't do it.
Without a doubt. The thing, Tyson, is at that time, that was probably my lowest point in business too, because I'm developing or putting so much time into my family that definitely needs it. My lowest time, me personally, in business, probably my highest profiting time in business, like I made sometimes $70,000 a month. I'm having other crews out there not respecting the brand.
Yep.
Everybody, in my opinion, a lot of people could build a fence. A lot of people could lay a driveway, build a pergola, redo your deck. But what makes me specific and strong is my customer service. I'm not going to take advantage of an older lady who's by herself. This price is this price. It is for Tyson. It is for Jeremy. It is for Mrs. whoever. You know what I mean?
Good time. I think I'm going to ask, tell us about the actual business now, just a little bit about who's your customer, employees or subcontractors. Like, how are you doing things and how are you making that work?
Yep. So predominantly homeowners. So
Okay.
my bread and butter is homeowners. So I kind of look at it like you buy a house, you usually want to put a privacy fence. If you buy one of these newer houses in Georgia, you know, they're kind of cookie cutter, you know, so you need a fence, you need to customize it, you need to expand the driveway, maybe expand the patio, maybe you want to expand the deck, add stairs to the deck, pergola, gazebo. So, and then on top of that, I could stain everything, a routine maintenance, garden beds. So specifically anything outside, I can get taken care of. I have a network now to where we could literally build a house. So I have enough people validated that I put my trust in that we could lay a foundation, frame it up, HVAC work getting done, electric work getting done.
One stop shop.
Turnkey. So full turnkey.
There
You
you
know
go.
what I mean?
Is that in the future for you? Possible plans to do home building?
Yes. So that's
Okay.
one of my biggest goals. I
Okay.
want some,
Nice.
I want to
Good.
get some land.
That's a good one.
Yep, I want to get some land, build a cul-de-sac, and so I'm kind of determined for personal use, like what's it called, to where compound living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like almost compound living. Especially nowadays, how my mind is going. Or I may just sell the whole subdivision. But yep, that's in the future, in the near future, actually, Jeremy. I had 6 Airbnbs at one point during COVID. COVID was terrible.
Wow.
That was tough.
So network to be involved with, you know, people with
oh yeah,
a lot of means and a lot of projects for you to do, I would think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, without a doubt.
unlimited funds.
Yeah.
What's your news? You know, what are you in the business? What, 9 years now? 9 years?
Yeah, 8.5.
How are you looking these days? Going on, good revenues.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. So I'm pretty consistent. This year, seriously, probably been my lowest year for the last 4 or 5 years. I thought it was just me. But I hear that around from a lot of people. It's picked back up, thank God, within the last month.
You know,
But the last 2 months were my lowest months since, if I'm not mistaken, 2018, like my first 2 years in business. Like it was rough.
We've heard that from
I
a few
never
different
talked
people.
about having a job. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. We've heard that from a few of the different people that we've interviewed about the end of summer, early fall was just real kind of quiet out there in all sorts of different industries.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Hope we don't never have that again. You got to have real faith. You know what I mean? You have to have real faith and understand that what's for me is for me. It's going to come. All my bills are paid. You know, I've never missed a meal. So at times things happen, but if you stay focused and consistent, see, the thing is consistent.
Yeah, I don't know if you've looked into what we're about, but we're a field service software company. Yeah, and we are always interested in technology. And I was just wondering how technology has helped you over the years, and is there something that you use now that kind of keeps everything together for you?
One of my biggest go-to is
Choice, yeah.
I could create my own contract. When I first started, it was like maybe a paragraph long. It's 9 pages long now. I highly recommend all customers read it. Now, the thing is, I predominantly do wood structure. So master carpenter, concrete work. That's pretty much what I do. Anything else would be subcontracted out for the most part, but it's still my responsibility. So
Absolutely.
that's all deep into the contract. And a lot of my contracts are CYA. I recently, what was that, a couple years ago, in and out of court, and had a lawyer look over my contract and get some things rectified, because some of these contracts, to be totally honest with you, we write them.
What are you trying to cover or to protect from with these things? I know there's got to be a lot, but
yeah, it is. The main things, what I try to cover now, is just explanation of the product. You know, so specifically with fences in Georgia, we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of sun. I can't guarantee from the warping. We can replace it at this price. So I explain a builder's warranty. I let them know that I will lien your property. You know, so full explanation of, full disclosure of, like I said, it's about 9 pages long. You have this one skill, but then you open a business, you have to keep learning to keep growing.
Doing like could you do invoices? Can you send invoices and create estimates and have like a CRM with those guys?
Yes. However, they run it through PayPal. I'm dealing with the transactions that I deal with. I provide a service-based business. So it's not a PayPal situation. And me and PayPal was into it legally for over 8 months. They held $8,000 of mine for a transaction from a customer dispute, but they can't dispute the service. Like, the fence is installed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm being paid for, the service of me installing the fence. The satisfaction.
And they can do that? They have that power to withhold that?
PayPal does. PayPal is,
Wow.
nobody I know deals with PayPal. Yeah, if I'm buying something from overseas, if I'm buying a good, PayPal doesn't work with services.
Product is one thing, but a service, not good for other side of it.
No,
absolutely.
So HVAC company, I come in and I change your filter and you want to dispute it. So PayPal wise, that's why I don't run my through Joust. I run it through QuickBooks.
We're direct through Plaid to your bank account and
Stripe.
Just like legit,
But what separates us is like Jobbers or Service Titan or those other bigger companies, we're free and we're always free. And that's one of the things we love when we have these talks and we hear people telling us awesome things like what you're saying. And then it's good to get the chance to show you what we do, and how we do it. So
definitely, Tyson. I'll be definitely interested.
Yeah, take a look for sure.
So we talked about technology. What are the goals for Man Ant in the future? I know you talked about home building. Are you looking to maybe pass it on to your son? Is there an exit strategy that you kind of are thinking about, or?
Yep. So exit strategy is literally land and development. I don't ever want Man Ant to stop. So I'm in the process right now speaking with somebody in Nebraska, trying to put the franchise in Nebraska, Sacramento. My son should take it over down here. It's there for him. He just graduated, kind of trying to figure it all out still for himself.
Good for you, though. Keep it in the family.
I love it.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that's kind of where it's at.
It's your baby.
It's my baby, and I tell him that with my products, the fences, the patio. So I do no paid advertisement. I wanted to ask you guys, how'd you hear about me?
We are looking at all kinds of companies. We're going after roofers, plumbers, handymen, pressure washers, and looking up reviews. And we saw you, and we did some research, and we were like, this is a guy that we want to talk to because, I kind of joked about it. You do so damn much.
I do.
And that in itself is a great story.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's exciting. That's my problem. Being an artist, I don't know when I gotta just say it's done. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let it do its thing.
Yeah. So business wise, that's where I'm at. At one point, I had 3 trucks. I've had a guy take a truck to Tennessee without me knowing. Businesses. Employees say like it's never changed in construction. So what I've done, I opened Man Ant Academy, to where I'm funneling in people, teaching them. They're paying me to learn whatever from specifically either fences or concrete. So I had one class earlier this year. So for that 5 days, I would bring them. We sit there in the classroom for one day, which was a hotel room, not a hotel room, but the hotel,
the bank
conference room.
Yep, the conference room. Rented out the conference room. Had a little slideshow and explain tape measures, drills. You'd be surprised how many people just don't know little stuff.
Totally, yeah.
And then the next day we were hands-on, then pretty much there with me watching my crew work. I'm explaining what they're doing. I left a hole or two for them to do, panel or so for them to work on. And if they're interested, hey, by all means, if they're worth anything, they can come on with me for a while, or they could go see if it's not their interest. You know what I mean? So I've been targeting high schoolers because, again, I needed to know what I was good at.
Talking about the teaching side, I mean, we're getting a good taste of that. We've done about 14 of these, and people are starting to use them as a resource. We were doing these as a way to kind of get to know our future customers, but we've had people say, hey, I was thinking about starting this company, and I watched your podcast and I listened to this guy's problems, and you're passing that along. And it's just, it's turning into a great resource for people.
Yeah. Once I did the research on the Swivl podcast, Tyson and Jeremy, I would say that this is awesome. This is exactly you guys pinpointed what I was trying to do.
Good.
So, I
go.
consider all of this fishing. I got to put enough reels out there. I sometimes reel them in, sometimes you can't. My problem is sometimes I don't have a big enough boat. Believe it or not, sometimes I don't have the boat. Other times there's nothing coming upstream. So,
Ray, this has been the quickest 48 minutes of talking to somebody, and it's not just the talking and being inspired by your story, but just the passion. I mean, it oozes out of you and what you're doing, and the journey that you've taken has been pretty incredible in your life journey as well as the business journey. I want to ask you one thing though, but before we wrap up,
no problem.
What is if there's someone watching this and they're in those shoes that you were at 17, 18, 19, or they're trying to get over that first step, what would you tell them, or what kind of advice would you give them?
Don't be scared to make the mistakes. We look at losses or mistakes as losses sometimes. And I love L's. There's a win or an L. I love L's. To me, they're lessons. There's never a loss. It's only a lesson, an opportunity for me to learn. When I win, I never really learn that much. Kind of a little egotistical. You know what I mean? But when I'm humbled and I took a L, it was a lesson, and I appreciate learning. So you're gonna bump your head, keep going. That's what I would say to a 17-year-old me. Keep going. Yeah.
Well, listen, the good thing about getting to talk to you and getting to know you is you're now in our network. Apart from this podcast, and you're going into on our website and on YouTube, and you should go to YouTube and look at some of those clips. There's some pretty good ones, and I think you get a kick out of it.
Yep.
But not only that, but just we know so many people that are in this area, and you're going to be in the back pocket, and it's awesome. Just those are the people that we love to pass along, because we know that they're going to be in good hands. Yeah. So for all of you listening or watching in the greater Atlanta, Powder Springs area, and you're in need of any, and this is with a heavy emphasis on any construction, concrete, demolition, pressure washing, or just good old-fashioned handyman work, make sure to reach out to Man Ant Services, and you can find their contact information right here on the screen. Put your finger up, Ray. There you go. And you can trust that you're going to be working with a true professional in the field. And we just want to thank Ray so much for being with us on Swivl Sessions. You're a good man.
I appreciate you, Tyson, Jeremy. I'm gonna interview you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening or watching. Swivl's field service software is everything you need to run your field service for free. Until next time, check us out at swivl.tech. That's SWIVL.tech. And Jeremy?
That's a wrap.